Hey there, Magic the Gathering players. This is Nosferatu 275. I'm here on my computer about to play the old school awesome game Shandalar. If you guys never played this game, you've got to try it. It was from '97, very old game now. It almost played like an RPG of sorts. You would go around all over the world. You would go into cities, into shops using your gold to like buy magic cards. You would get into duels with opponents, and you would ante up cards and win cards from them. You could get power 9 cards. You would go into dungeons. If you went into the dungeon, you could actually get particularly powerful cards like the power 9, like Black Lotus and things like that. Really awesome game, and I like it because it gave me an opportunity to actually experience and know what playing for Ante was like. Because when I started playing Magic, Ante was pretty much phased out of the game already. A lot of people didn't like it. They were too chicken. They didn't really want to put anything of value on the line playing for Ante. So this is why I like this game a lot. It gave me an opportunity to actually play for Ante and understand how to play the Ante cards. So let me show you my powerful Ante deck that wins all the cards. It's a Sultai deck. You can pretty much say it has a control nature to it. It's blue, it's green, and it's black. It runs a lot of swamps. It's particularly powerful because of that. I have things in my deck that get more powerful because of more swamps. 5 swamps, 4 underground sea, 4 bayou. I got a Library of Alexandria, very powerful card advantage card right here. I particularly like my deck and how it can put me back at the threshold that I need to activate Library should I fall below the number that I need, which you always need 7 in your hand to be able to activate it. I have Contract from Below and Time Twister, which can put me back up to 7, so I can start actually activating my Library of Alexandria. I've got City of Brass. This gives me access to any color I may need. I've got Time Walk. Take those extra turns. It's one of the power 9. I got the awesome Time Twister. Can draw 7. And it also gives you the chance to be able to recycle your deck. Put your graveyard back into your library. And it goes well with Regrowth. Regrowth and Time Twister was a well-known combination. Those two would work together and allow you to just continually recycle your deck as you needed. You could be sometimes all your resources depleted, everything's in your graveyard, and then you just shuffle everything back in. Just got to be careful. You don't want Time Twister and Regrowth to be both in the graveyard, or else you can't keep the loop going. Here I've got Sengir Vampire, which, believe it or not, is actually a good finishing flyer in this environment of Shandalar. He gets bigger every time he kills something that gets chump blocked. I've got Royal Assassin, and you will not believe how many decks just keel over and die to Royal Assassin. There's so many cheesy little green decks in Shandalar that they don't even have adequate removal for this guy to get rid of a Royal Assassin, and he just dominates the game. He just pops creatures left and right, especially in combination with using Icy Manipulator. That's a well-known combo back in the day. Royal Assassin and Icy Manipulator. I've got Nightmare, and this is why it's particularly good. All these swamps add up to make really big nightmares. So if you have like 9 swamps in play, you have a 9/9 flyer. And in my deck, playing things like Fast Spawn can really get out of hand quick. At the very low cost of just paying 1 life, you could, like with your initial hand, if you had a Fast Spawn and a good number of lands, put that all in play quickly and just have a really fat flyer just like that with my Nightmare. It also powers powerful Drain Lives, which is very cheesy direct damage, and with that life gain, it can stabilize you later on, get you at a stable life total, and also doubles up as a potential creature removal should you need it. I've got Mind Twist to knock all the cards out of my opponent's hand. I've got Demonic Attorney. This allows me to force my opponent to ante up additional cards. And one thing about ante decks, when you make an ante deck, you don't want to water down, you don't want to dilute your ante deck by putting too many anti-nature cards in your ante deck, like your Dark Packs and your Demonic Attorneys and all that stuff, your Rebirths, Jeweled Birds. You just want a few, because you don't want your you want your deck to be streamlined. You want your deck to do what it needs to do, and not just in some spots not have an answer. Like if you draw yet another Demonic Attorney and I needed a piece of removal, it's not what you want to see. When you have the game in hand, when everything's under control and you're dominating, you took over the game, that's when you Demonic Attorney, because you're going to be comfortable anteing up more because you're on your way to winning. So you got to keep that in mind. Don't dilute your ante decks with too many anti-nature cards. I've got Demonic Tutor, which is just awesome. Just goes and gets whatever you need. Usually what I go get, almost always, like 90-something% of the time, I just go get a contract from below, just to overwhelm my opponents with extreme card advantage, because that's a lot of card advantage. For the low cost of anteing up an additional card, in 1 black mana, you give yourself a whole hand of 7, which is pretty silly. I've got Natural Selections. I got 2 of them. This is a very good card in combination with Demonic Attorney. If you like what you see on top of your opponent's library, you can just order them any way you want. And if you see something really good, like say a Black Lotus, and you want to put it in the ante, you just make sure to put that card right on top. And this is a good card even if you're not trying to use it for ante. This messes with the top of the library. And say for instance you got a mana screwed opponent, and you just keep them off their land for even longer. It's almost like having more time walks in the deck. So it's a really great card. I like having 2 of them. I've got Mox Emerald, Sapphire, and Jet, one of each of my respective colors. This is like having free land. They are known as the Power 9 for a good reason. It's just super acceleration on the mana. Black Lotus is another mana accelerant. Just sack it for 3 mana of any color. Soul Ring, more fast mana. Tap it for 2 colorless. And my favorite card, I like putting this in all my decks, really, in Shandalar, especially if you're playing an anti-deck. It's like the ability to go get a silver bullet of your choosing, to go get a crazy hose or whatever custom fits the moment, whatever you need at the moment. Sometimes I go get an extra contract from below, because notice you can't have multiple contracts in hand, because you'll miss out on any additional ones. So this is almost like having another contract in the game for massive card advantage. And this is why I have a City of Brass, so I can access all the colors. And City of Brass and Black Lotus gives me all the colors, all 5 colors. And with Ring of Maroof, I could go get something that's not even in my colors. I could go get a balance, sack my Black Lotus or something like that for white mana, cast balance, and then wipe a board, so to say. So it's pretty powerful, very powerful card, Ring of Maroof. I like putting it in all my anti-decks. I've got the mass removal of anything that makes it into play that I couldn't deal with, like enchants and artifacts and all that stuff, creatures. It just wipes it clean. It does come in tapped, but after that you can wipe the board entirely. And I don't mind if I actually lose some of my artifacts in the process, because my deck does recycle itself with the Time Twister Regrowth combo. And I like putting a Disrupting Scepter in my decks. I like when I get my opponents into that Scepter lock where they're just playing off the top of their library, and then anything they draw, they can't even keep it. They won't even be able to keep it in their hand because they just keep knocking it out of their hand. And I like playing with 41 because In this deck, as you ante up cards, if you keep anteing up additional cards throughout it, I can actually get into spots where I've recast multiple times, like Demonic Attorney and Natural Selection, and force my opponent to ante up more cards, to where like my deck size is dwindling. So I don't like to actually play with 40 cards. I play with 41 just to be a little safer. It's still streamlined. It's still very easy for me to draw all that I need throughout the course of a typical game. So I go with 41 cards. And there it is. Let's take it for a spin. Alright, here we got my first opponent. Forest Dragon, he's mono green. I'm going to cast a Time Twister, see what I get. Alright, lucked into a Time Walk. That's going to be huge. Free turn coming up. I'll play my Time Walk. Need to get some more mana into play. Play a Swamp. I'll go ahead and put my Ring of Maroof into play so I can get something from outside the game. And one tip for you guys, I didn't know this until I started playing. You can actually get anything outside of the game, period. Even if you don't actually have it in your personal collection within game. It's really awesome to have access to everything. I'll put my Black Lotus into play for some multi-color options. Now I'm going to go ahead and give myself a whole hand of cards. Oh, okay, I lost my Mind Twist. It went into the ante. Alright, that's pretty good for this turn. Now I got a spare turn coming up now. I'll take my time walk turn. And here with Ring of Maroof, I'll pay the 5 to go search for something. Some kind of powerful hoser card. What could I get here? Let me see. Green enchants. No, wait. I'm thinking, no. It's not green, it's black. What I'm thinking is black. Death Grip. It's a hoser. It's like a counter on a stick that you can use over and over again. In enchantment, you pay 2 black and you just counter green spells. This pretty much gonna seal it right here. Put that into play. Go ahead, declare my attack. Singer swings for 4. Put him down to 3 and then pass the turn, and my opponent's not going to be able to do anything. I'll even tap one of his lands down with my Icy. Now watch him suffer as he tries to cast anything. These cards were brutal. Death Grip. I mean, come on. This is brutal against a mono green. I can now counter multiple spells in the turn. Alright, Stream of Life. You're not doing that. I say no. 2 black. Nope. My turn now. Play a Swamp. Swing in for the win with the Sangir Vampire and collect my ante. There we go. There's my prize. So right here in this game, I previously tutored up a Tsunami with my Ring of Maroof. Now I want to cast it. Oh, but he's got a counter spell. Alright, that puts a damper on my plan. I don't blame her for not wanting to lose all the islands. I guess right now the best bet is maybe next turn I can Time Twister and maybe be lucky enough to draw it in my hand and then try to go at it again. Work my way through counter magic. Alright, I'm gonna dominate now. Any creatures he's got in play, I'm just gonna tap them with Icy Manipulator and pop them with my Royal. So it should be fine. Now let's see. I want a Time Twister. I'm looking for that hoser Tsunami. Alright, let's see what happens. See if I get lucky. Time Twister. Oh, there it is. Time Twister, and he's tapped out completely. I actually won't lose too many of my own islands. I only have 1 island, Underground Sea. Plus he's done Phantasmal Terrain on a couple of Underground Seas earlier. So I'll only lose 1 island here. Tsunami. Oh, that's brutal. I lose 1 Underground Sea. He loses like 7 islands. Should be easy taking it from here now. I'll go ahead, upkeep, tap down his water elemental. Pop his water elemental with royal. Let me see, he's got a handful of cards, so this should be pretty easy from here. Might want a demonic tutor. Go and get myself a nice mind twist. Get his hand down to as little as possible. Think I can do it for about 6. Mind twist for 6 cards. Puts him down to just 1. Okay, you have a little bit of counter magic, some more creatures. Pass the turn. Alright, from here it's pretty easy. Just give myself a bunch of card advantage with Contract from Below. First I want to knock a card out of his hand with Disrupting Scepter. Then I'll go ahead and give myself a new hand here. And that should pretty much seal the game. Go ahead and pop his Azure Drake with Royal Assassin. And this is just too much card advantage. I'm well on my way to winning this matchup. And the ante that goes with the game. Draw off a library. Play my Black Lotus. Sack it for 3 blue. Take an extra turn. And this is over, folks. Here in this game against Alta Cash, I was very worried that I might lose some valuable ante. I have currently a Mox Sapphire and a Time Twister in my ante. And I had actually searched for a Dark Pact earlier, which combos nicely with Natural Selection. I'm going to go ahead and order these with the Bayou first. And then I'll put the Swamp on top, followed by the Fastbond. And I know I'm going to draw the Bayou. I want the Swamp to be on top because I want to insert it into the current ante, which is going to remove the Mox and the Time Twister out of there, so I don't have to worry about losing them. So I'm going to go ahead and target me for the swap on the antes. I'm just going to put a lousy swamp there. And this is the value of why it's so good to have just regular swamps. You're totally okay with losing a swamp. Back in the day, people used to play people with like lousy grizzly bears and basic lands. And who would play for ante with someone who has such little stuff to win? So that's why I didn't go with just all dual lands. So right here I'm going to go ahead and pop the walls that are lying around with my Assassin. Oh, real nice. I drew Time Twister, so it's already been incorporated into my deck. Now that I'm official owner of it again. After you use your Dark Pact, it's automatically yours. So I was at risk of actually drawing out. I had very few cards in library. Now I don't have to worry about that. And my Regrowth is actually sitting in the graveyard too. Alright, let me go in for the lethal damage with the Vampire. Want me some dual lands, baby. Nice. In this matchup against High Priest, I've really been on edge. He's a white weenie deck that actually will blow up all your lands with Armageddon, and I'm very worried about that. So right now I'm going to see what's up here with my Natural Selection, see what's on top. Oh my god, it's actually sitting as this top card right there. So I'll go ahead and combo that with Demonic Attorney by putting Armageddon on top first. I can actually get it out of the way. It's now part of the ante and it can't use it against me. Ah, there goes that threat. Earlier I'd actually searched for balance because he has a lot of hard to target stuff like protection from black. So I thought maybe I needed balance against him. But right now I'm on a roll. I'm going to go ahead and Contract from Below. Get a whole hand of 7 cards. Sitting pretty good right now, but I'm still worried. Still worried about another Armageddon coming up sometime soon. Now if I have Fastbond in play, I can recover extremely fast. Fastbond and a Time Twister, and I'm getting a bunch of land in play quickly. Still got to be careful. Still got to watch out for that Armageddon threat. He has a Dingus Egg in play too, so every land would do 2 damage to me, so he would win. And it even kills the Nightmare, because I won't have any swamps in play, and it'll be a 0/0. So it's a really good top deck for my opponent. I'll go ahead and use Disrupting Scepter, knock a card out of his hand. Let me see here. Draw a card with Library. I'll go ahead and Demonic Tutor. Let me see here. What do we have left? That's the most useful thing. I guess Drain Life for some emergency life gain. Keeping my fingers crossed here. I don't want him to hit me with that Armageddon. He would be pretty strong right now. Wipe my land and my Nightmare. Okay, so we got a Mesa Pegasus. I'm just gonna go ahead and put in a Icy Manipulator. That'll clear the way. And I'll knock him for 9. Almost there. Still afraid of that Armageddon. Not a bad ante. There are better things to win. After a while you get used to the opponents and what they carry on them. Like the 3-color dragons have lots of good stuff. They have like Moxes, and they have like Time Twister, Ancestral, and all that good stuff. But Armageddon is a nice little ante to win. There we go. Saltram Tor is a particularly menacing opponent. He's been hitting me with direct damage for a good chunk of the game, and I've been very panicky ever since. So right now I'm able to hit him back with my own direct damage, which gains me life. So that should get me a little more stable. This is the first red deck I've actually played while doing this video. And right now I don't want to actually cast Time Twister. It could help my opponent more than me. So I'll try to see what I can draw off the top here. Got a Royal Assassin. It's kind of oddball deck. It's got multiple colors. It has some direct damage, fireballs, creatures. Not even sure if there's anything really good to actually win off of this guy. Alright, that's kind of specialized. Kills the Djinns and Ifrits. I'll go ahead and put in my Disrupting Scepter. Oh, sneaky guy. He hit me with that Siren's Call. Now I'm forced to attack, or I'll die. Alright. Maybe I can get by without my Royal Assassin. Ah, it's a shame. Just when I drew the Icy, and there's no Royal. Alright, the Disruptive Scepter's coming up big, knocking cards out of the hand. A lot of back and forth, a lot of nothing turn after turn here, but I'm still getting my card advantage here. Hitting him with Scepter every turn. Alright, library deck check. I think I'm getting down to a very low amount. Hey, those Birds of Paradise look pretty nice. I wouldn't mind putting those in one of my decks. I think I only have 2 right now in my collection within the game. Fungus, now that's strange. Very, very strange. I'll play the Mox. I'll go ahead and search for something with Demonic Tutor. I'll go get Ring of Maroof. I don't always get Ring of Maroof, but in most games where I play Ring of Maroof, great things happen. But you shouldn't bend over backwards to always try to use your Ring of Maroof. Sometimes you just don't have the mana to make it work. Alright, he hit me with Fungusar. I was a little distracted. I think I forgot to pin him down with Icy. Alright, now we're gonna go look for something. I want to show you guys Bronze Tablet. Bronze Tablet is a neat card. But I'm afraid, I'm not quite sure what he has. I don't know if he has counter magic. So I'm gonna knock the card out of his hand first. Alright, he had to regenerate. I'll wait a turn to safely put in my bronze tablet. Upkeep, I'll hit the Fungusar so I don't take damage. Alright. Oh, this has been a game MVP, Disrupting Scepter. Another card out of their hand. That gives me peace of mind. I know he can't counter the bronze tablet. Pass the turn. Pin the Fungusar with Icy. I'm gonna go ahead and swap out bronze tablet for the Birds of Paradise. I only have 2 in my collection right now in the game. Can't think of anything better to do right now. Bronze tablet is an interesting card. You have permanent ownership. You exchange the bronze tablet. They can pay 10 life to avoid the effect, but he's currently at 10. So he has to actually lose the Birds of Paradise or just lose the game. So the swap is forced. Let me see here. I'm well on my way to winning this. I got a big fat nightmare I want to play. And one of the good things about always having a Ring of Maruf in your decks is normally you have to stockpile multiple bronze tablets. And you don't need to do that when you have Ring of Maruf. You can like search for one when you need it and you don't have to like buy a bunch of them. Because the opponent does end up with the tablet after the game. And you get whatever permanent you steal from them. So you can avoid costs like that, having to stockpile bronze tablets. Alright, he chumped. I'm about to crash through. He's got 1 Birds of Paradise to be blocking in the air. Almost got him. Gonna win me a juicy Birds of Paradise for that multicolor mana fixing. Ah, that's a funny one. Old Man of the Sea. He's still smaller creatures than his power. Alright, we're coming in. 14 in the air after tapping down the birds. He's still alive. Oh, not after this drain life. Should have enough to hit him for lethal here. Yeah, bronze tablet. Don't forget to use your bronze tablet, especially to win the Moxes from the Tricolor Dragons in the game. Ooh, won a bunch of stuff. Nice. Oh, and I won a Mahamodi the Jinn, baby. So here against my opponent, Vampire Lord, a mono black deck. I'm almost out of cards. Checking my library right now. I have 1 card left. It's a tricky deck. It's been a long protracted battle. He's running me out of cards with this Howling Mine. I need to make sure I can recycle my deck. Maybe casting Time Twister at the right moment. For right now, I'm just gonna knock out this Sengir Vampire. Drain life on him. Get rid of him. And I'm going to teach you guys how to use Jeweled Bird. It's an interesting card that you might be tutoring from time to time with your Ring of Maruf. So if you're in a spot that you simply do not want to ever risk losing something that's in your ante officially, you can dump anything from your ante with Jeweled Bird into your graveyard and then just recirculate it by casting Time Twister. So right now I just cast Jeweled Bird. It replaces itself. It draws a card. And I had Mind Twist, Nightmare, and City of Brass that were in my ante pool, which now went to my graveyard. And according to how the card used to play, the opponent actually keeps your Jeweled Bird. And they get to use it on you, maybe in a different game. So right now I'm doing pretty good. I just cleared the board with Disc. I'm going to replenish my deck. I'm going to Time Twister. There we go. So I'm in a pretty strong spot right here. So based on my experience playing for Ante, there are a couple of cards that are not really worth playing. Tempest Ifrit, the red one, and Rebirth, which was the green one and gains you extra life, are not really that good. They're not really that viable for options and usefulness. And you need to keep in mind that you'd never want to lose your recursive loop within your deck. You don't want time twister or regrowth to be gone and placed in your ante. So that's another reason to actually consider Jeweled Bird and getting that with Ring of Maroof, so you can keep the loop going. Don't want to lose your recursive power. So right here I should be well on my way to winning. I just gotta deal with this board. I'm gonna go ahead and drain the Sengir Vampire for 4, and I gotta take advantage of the being tapped out here. No regeneration mana for the Will-O-Wisp. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed my video on playing for Ante here on the Shandalar game. And I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been a Nosferatu production. Ha 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 ha.